Well, Wonderful Saviour is actually an old, I think, 19th century hymn written by a certain Mr. Harris, which I came across a few years ago, which I adapted the words and wrote a new melody for it. But the story behind the song is back in December 2005, our lives as a family and as a church were turned upside down. We'd been in the same church for about 17 years and very, very involved in the life of the church because we love the local church and just wonderful to be a part of that. And unfortunately, the ministry that we'd been walking with just got completely ripped away from us for circumstances that were beyond our control. And we just found ourselves in a horrible place. We'd gone literally from an incredible year of blessing to a real valley experience really quickly. And the feeling of grief and loss that we felt at that time was just incredibly painful. And I remember at the start, just after Christmas had been a really hard time, you know, trying to celebrate with your kids, yet knowing what you're walking through. And knowing that nothing was probably going to look the same again in terms of what we'd known for the previous 17 years. And I remember in the January sitting down, just feeling like I'd lost everything, lost friendship, lost so much. And I pulled my granddad's redemption hymnal out from off the shelf, which my mum had given me a couple of years previous. And I was just flicking through my granddad's notes because he was a chorister in the Methodist church and loved worship. And he got loads of notes in this hymn book. And I was flicking through and I found this hymn, Jesus my King, my wonderful Saviour, which for me, just that very first line was so important to me at that time, because I'd realised that, you know, we often do this in life. We put people on pedestals and we don't realise we've done it, and we place our trust in men and we place our trust in humanity when actually our trust should be completely in God. And of course we know that, but often, you know, when you walk with people for a long period of time, you don't realise the place that you've given them in your life. And when we walked this incredibly painful experience at that time, I realised that actually somebody had got a place in my life that they shouldn't have, that only Christ should have. And the first line of those words just hit me so hard that morning: Jesus my King, my wonderful Saviour. As I realised that actually that place of kingship had gone to somebody else, but should only be for Him. And I started to walk a journey for a few weeks of just complete surrender again, and just saying, Jesus, there's only you that can be king in my life. I'll place no person there. And we often got to go through those kind of tough things in order to kind of be purified in such a way that He becomes who He's supposed to become in our lives and takes the place He's supposed to take in our lives. And so I really, one morning, was just sat in my devotions, and the melody came very quickly to me for that song, and I just began to worship personally with it. And then took it out into the churches and saw how God used the song to draw people closer to Him, which has become so precious to me personally. Just to see God's people drawing closer to Him as a result of something that you write is a very precious thing. And so the words to that song mean a lot to me because of walking such difficult trial. But 2 years on, to be in a place of joy and strength again, to be able to sing that same song and to be able to worship with that same song is a beautiful thing, because you can see, you know where it's come from personally, and you know what you've had to walk, and you know that the psalmist was right when he said that we walk through the valley. We don't stop in the valley, but if we'll allow Him to be our shepherd, He will take us through valleys, but we don't stop there. You know, He does prepare a table for us in the presence of our enemies, in the presence of our difficulties, in the presence of our trials. He prepares a table, you know, of peace for us, of blessing, of comfort, of strength, and we walk on into new things and into higher ways with a greater understanding and a greater strength. So Wonderful Saviour was written out of those journeys.